Huracán Performante burst into our collective consciousness with an outrageously fast time around the Nürburgring's Nordschleife, setting a time that was so fast, some people questioned whether the footage hadn't been tampered with.
Welcome to the Huracán Performante launch at Imola. I think it's important to say that this video is not speeded up. What a noise! So what we want to know is, can this most extreme Lamborghini Huracán live up to greats like the 458 Speciale and the 675 LT? Can it join that pantheon of absolutely legendary road racers? So as soon as you get in this car, the first thing you notice from turning into that first chicane is just how much sharper the steering is.
For that, you can thank the new P0 Corsa tyre, arm bushings that are 50% firmer, and suspension that is 10% stiffer vertically and 15% stiffer in roll. The standard Huracán was hardly lacking in oomph down the straights, but thanks to a redesigned intake system pinched from the Super Trofeo cars and a new exhaust system, the Performante also gets increases of 30 brake horsepower and 29 pounds-foot, helping it reach 125 miles an hour from a standstill in just 8.9 seconds. But what was really crucial to that 6-minute 52-second lap time around the Nürburgring was the new aerodynamic witchcraft.
So this Performante's got a very clever new aerodynamic system called ALA that basically gives you grip in the corners but then stalls the rear wing on the straights through little vents in the rear wing and flaps in the front, meaning that you don't get the drag on the straights as much. However, it's also got something even cleverer than that, which is they call aerodynamic vectoring. So it actually puts aerodynamic downforce on individual sides of the car to help it through the corners. To be honest, you don't really care about that because you're too busy listening to this engine. Oh, it's good to have a naturally aspirated V10. This is a good car, I know it already. That's such a cool corner up over that crest. It was a proper ballsy corner. Thought of driving an F1 car around here. Time to go and see what it's like on the road, I think.
We're heading for the hills and a favourite piece of twisting Tuscan tarmac. But in order to get there, we have to tackle towns and villages and all the sorts of rubbish roads that litter everyday life. Like the standard Huracán, there are 3 driving modes: Strada, Sport and Corsa. And in the tamest of those settings, with the help of the optional magnetohydrological dampers, Performante proves remarkably placid. We even stopped for an ice cream on the way over, not just because it was hot and we were hungry, but because while the Huracán looks at home on a track and gorgeous on a good piece of road, you only appreciate the full drama of its design when it's in town, surrounded by normal cars.
This might be a track-focused car, the fastest production car around the Nürburgring, but in Strada mode, it's perfectly usable. It's remarkably comfortable, and yeah, I could actually see myself using this every day. That is the genius of these modern supercars, is even something like this that is so obviously and brutally track-focused. Yeah, it's still comfortable. Yeah, all right, the seats. We've talked about the seats before. They're not great. Apart from that, apart from the seats, apart from the thing you sit in all the time, pop to the shops in it.
But what happens when you roll your sleeves up, ramp up to Sport or even Corsa mode, and get stuck in?
Let's face it, there wasn't an awful lot wrong with the standard Huracán. The drivetrain in particular is just epic. That V10 behind me, really cracking double clutch gearbox. The Huracán already had a lot going for it before it became the Performante, but now all the bits that just didn't quite live up to that magnificent engine have been ironed out. 8,500 RPM, wow! The steering is light, it's not brimming with feel, but the response from the front end is so direct that you can actually get away with, you always know where those front wheels are.
Get past the initial few degrees of almost darty turn-in, and there's a bit of residual understeer, but it's easily managed, or even countered.
Of course, out here on the road, all those clever aerodynamics really don't mean much. The speed we've got isn't enough to get them working, I don't think. Where the car has to perform here is in the feel, the adjustability, the excitement, the enjoyment, just the pure thrill of driving, I think. And boy, does it deliver. It's no wonder this car set such a good lap time around the ring. The way it deals with the bumps is just breathtakingly good. It gives you so much confidence, this car. That engine, the response of that is now matched in the chassis, which is phenomenal. So the car feels all of a piece. 8,500 RPM. What a thing. It's the lightness of this car that just seems to, that's what feels like gives it the response. I know it's got 630 brake horsepower, but it just feels so light and agile. I know we're lugging around four-wheel drive, but it really doesn't feel like it in terms of the curb weight.
That curb weight is in fact 1382 kilos, reduced by 40 kilos compared to the standard car. That's thanks mainly due to the multitude of parts that look like they've been carved from a marble worktop. They're in fact made from forged composite, which uses chopped carbons in a matrix of resin.
So there we go. Day on track and road with Performante. Have they finally done it? Does it stand toe to toe with a 458 Speciale and a 675 LT and a new 911 GT3? Four-wheel drive means it's perhaps not quite as expressive as those cars, but that V10 is just amazing. So yeah, I think it deserves to be in that pantheon of modern road racing icons.